everybody, what's up? Welcome back and welcome to the beautiful city of Rome. Here we're starting our day at the Grand Palace Hotel Rome, which is where we stayed for a few days before we got on the ship. It was a beautiful hotel on the same block as Hard Rock Cafe and only 10 minutes from the Trevi Fountain, which is pretty amazing. So I fell in love with the marble bathroom, but it was just very comfortable, very clean, very spacious and open. And from there, we decided to venture out and take a walk and see what we could find. So literally 10 minutes from our hotel, we found the Spanish Steps. The Spanish Steps were named for the Spanish embassy to the Holy See. And just the marble staircases are beautiful that are there. And it opens up into this beautiful piazza with all these shops and things like that. And there's just alleyways everywhere that you can go and you can find other piazzas and just explore. So from there, we actually found a cafe and we got macchiatos and then wandered down an alley and found the Piazza del Popolo, which is literally the people's piazza or people's plaza, people's square, however you want to call it. And from there, it was another 7-minute walk to the Trevi Fountain and literally down alleyways. Now, in true tradition, we had to make a wish and throw a coin over our shoulder, and we'll see if they come true. From there, we walked back to our hotel, and while waiting for my parents to show up, we enjoyed a drink, and then just admired the ambiance that was this space, this room, I guess you could call it. I loved all the paintings, especially the first one with the leopard print, the leopards on a leash, and then from there, we were exhausted and we crashed. When we got back into our room, we actually had turn down service and we found these little boxes on our pillows. At first, we thought they were chocolates, but then once I managed to get the box open, it was actually almost like a gummy candy, kind of like a mix between Turkish Delight and a gummy bear, but it was fig flavored, which figs are super sweet to begin with, so it was a really tasty little treat. And then as soon as we had those, we passed out. We were exhausted. Next morning, we had breakfast, and as you can see, I was carb loading. Greg was more worried about his protein, of course, but hey, when in Rome. And so for that day, we decided to do a private tour, which absolutely fantastic. I would recommend in a heartbeat. It was literally just the four of us, Greg, myself, and my parents. We had a driver, we had a tour guide, and he took us on the scenic tour of Rome while we talked about everything we wanted to do that day. Because we only had one day in Rome, we wanted to try to see as much as we could. So we knew we were getting the Colosseum in. We knew we were going to be doing the Vatican. And so he also, though, pointed out different things in and around. Like right here are some Roman baths. This is one of the 7 gates of Rome, and we actually got to drive through it. But it was really cool because since it was such a small group, our tour guide and our driver were able to stop and show us places and talk to us about different things. Later in the day, we got hungry, and our tour guide took us to one of her favorite pizzerias, and where you literally order pizza by the pound. And it was just an amazing thing. So we started the day going to the catacombs, and then on the way back into Rome, we stopped at the Appian Way, where they were actually doing a reenactment with gladiators. And from there, we went to the Colosseum. Now, one of the really cool things about doing such a small tour is you are able to stop and do stuff, or stop if you need to. Like yours truly, I overheated. I didn't put enough SPF on, and I had to sit for a little bit. But because we only had 4 people in our group, we were able to do that, which is amazing. So from the Colosseum, we then had lunch, and then we went to the Vatican. And the really cool thing is our tour guide knew so much. Like right here, this is a Roman menu. People who couldn't read would literally point to what they wanted. Now, our tour guide, and for the life of me, I cannot remember her name. I've asked my parents, I've asked Greg, none of us. And I think it was just jet lag, overwhelm of the amazing day, and we cannot remember her name for the life of us, and we feel horrible. But she has a degree in art history, so she knew all of these little things and could point it out, like the dimension that they put into these mosaics and just the detail and the talent that they had. But it's also because it was this small group, we got to figure out what each of us loved or wanted to see. Like some My parents wanted to see the statues. I love Egypt, so she made a point of pointing out the things that we loved and the things that we really wanted to see, like these Egyptian sphinxes right here. The other cool thing is she seemed to know all of the security guards, so we were able to bypass a lot of the larger groups. This ceiling is amazing because it's literally 2D, but it's painted to look like 3D. And same thing with these tapestries. They're literally just wall tapestries, but the detail and the depth that is put into them is fantastic. And we would have missed it had she not pointed it out. The other cool thing is this is the Hall of Maps. And the maps are painted in accordance to how it would look when you're looking from the city of Rome. So the south looks mirror imaged from what we would look at on a map, but the north looks normal. From there, we did St. Peter's Basilica and Square, and we went inside and we did all of that, which was fantastic. It was just breathtaking and awe-inspiring. After that wrapped up our day. So our tour guide recommended a really great restaurant for us to eat at. We had some amazing pasta and wine, and then went back and slept. Thanks for following along today as we were in Rome, and I will see you guys tomorrow when we're getting on a cruise ship.